I just booted this up. I was like, well, let me go push some buttons in Dojo Masters for a little bit as I was trying to whittle away the time. And it dawned on me. And I swear this wasn't there the last time I played. We have a couple of character trials that have been added, don't we? Look, man, I am a fan of chunky pixel art, all right? What are we playing today? We're playing this in Robo-O. Heatwave is a mainstay. The chunky pixel air dasher itself is a mainstay on this channel, so I do love me some of this, some of the design work and the art's choices, right? But then just the game itself, it's got such a solid loop. It keeps me craving more, even if my hands and my brain scream that I need a break after like 30 minutes. This is good. I'm excited because I think there's definitely a couple things, a couple of the finer points, some of the more nuanced aspects of these characters have been lost on me, or weren't readily apparent to me at the very least when I first went into it. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at these trials. All right, so last time we had gone over the general game tutorial teaching about the systems and stamina and basic movement and stuff like that. And they gave you some insights into some of the characters. But now we're gonna go into the individual characters. So Muay Thai being the straightforward, hard-hitting martial art character. Simplicity leaves Muay Thai needing to play a much more solid neutral game. Maybe that's not the character for me. Maybe I need a skip neutral character. So additionally, Muay Thai has launch armor, which prevents them from being launched. Loses effectiveness when it's in a weakened state. Is the launch armor like, do they get stunned? Does Muay Thai get stunned in lieu of being launched? Is that how that system works? Yeah, launch armor is the stun state. Interesting. All right, so it kind of buys you some time, but it also gives the opponent an opportunity to do an extended combo. I like that. I like that kind of, that balance between the two. Yeah, J3, that's a good question. How many people are working on this game? I know you've been championing this on your personal account, but Pixel Visions is also behind it, right? It's Pixel Vision as the splash screen here. So I'm curious, is Pixel Vision your studio name? And how many people work at the studio? Well, I don't know how big your team is, Bye Bye Blue. So yeah, Pixel Vision is your studio name. The team is 4 people, but Dojo Masters itself is just you at the moment. Ah, interesting. Damn, it's super fucking impressive, man, for having this as like solo. Like, wow. I'm always amazed at the work that like solo and indie devs are doing, man. Like 1 to 4 people, 1 to 8 people, and you're like, how are you putting this together? Those are, okay, so those are neutral punches, and then we have forward punches as well. Same with kicks. Neutral kicks. Now this is something that was pointed out to me during our last stream, is Muay Thai's forward punch and kick are slightly faster than the neutral counterparts, right? So important information when you're like choosing what moves am I using in neutral, that's gonna matter a lot. All right, knee strikes. This is the big one. This is such a fun move to land. Oh man. Feels so satisfying. So knee strike is Muay Thai's only strong attack. A lot of other characters have multiple strong attacks. This is the only one that's going to do a knockdown, right? Other than throw, I suppose. It also doubles as an untechable attack. So it means that the opponent is unable to recover tech from being hit by this. No tech. But while the knee strike is powerful, it's also very predictable. So over-reliance on the knee strikes could lead your opponent to heavily punishing you. Right? And that's the basics of Muay Thai. So moving on, grabs. Their grab is a clinch, right? So this is something that I noted last time, that there's a lot of variability between the characters and how they function, both their movement, their tool set, even their abilities to grab. Some of them don't have it at all. Some of them have different functioning grabs. So in this case, you get the clinch and you have a few options. One, you can choose to pummel them. So back punch and repeatedly punch. See, you drain all their stamina there, right? But relying on it too much can be a bad thing. Your opponent might adapt, breaking free, preventing you from doing any real damage. Or you can perform the sweep. So with a kick follow-up, you down them. And then you can also reverse them by holding back with your kick. So great to be able to control screen space. Yeah, gives you some control of the stage. You could potentially reposition your opponent, right? Super important if you have to be like a very, very strong neutral focused character. So yeah, best way to utilize this is by mixing up the clinch approach with clinches, pummels, and then going into sweep. So if you think the opponent will try to break free, a clinch pummel If you think they're trying to break free of a clinch pummel, sweep them, right? And vice versa. If they're expecting the sweep, go for the pummel. All right, some basic combos. This can be performed from almost any position on stage if the knee strike connects. So back kick, forward kick. Interesting. Am I doing it too early? It's a timing thing, yeah. There we go. This next combo, yeah, only really when in the corner. So it's the solid back kick, back kick. Notice you can tack some extra stuff on. A reverse sweep out of a clinch often leads to a corner situation. If you abuse this combo long enough, players will start expecting it. Once that happens, go for the clinch instead and sweep them. So that's kind of your wheel of mix-ups. So that's cool, right? Like that's nice that these character trials. And it's something we were talking about last week or the week before when it came to pacing in fighting games, right? And how I was saying that Dojo Masters has like a really high mental bandwidth requirement and could be really hard on your hands. And so it might be nice to have something to pace the play so that players don't overexert themselves, and either mentally or physically. Working this into your loop of you run a player through the game tutorial, the more general game tutorial, and then you throw them in, make them either go into training mode or go into some single player content. Select a character, learn about characters, try a couple different characters. Maybe there's a mode that requires you to use every one of the characters. And then when you go back, they're like, great, awesome. You've experienced what some of the characters have to offer. Now find out everything you can do with them. And then you send them to the character trial, right? And then you can give them a choice. Pick who you're most interested in. You grab Boxer, right? You go and you do the Boxer trials. And then shoo them out of the trial and then send them to online mode, right? And then maybe after an online session, they get a reminder being like, hey, you played this character a bunch. Why not try this character? And you can click and it'll take you to the character trial again. So that you're not playing 100 matches back to back. Something to ping the player and to guide them and loop them, right? I think a lot more of that guidance in the game loop in fighting games would go a long way to helping players' enjoyment levels. Yo, I was just talking about Boxer. Let's do it. What don't I know about Boxer? Probably a lot. Boxing, the fast and aggressive martial art focused on punches. So, with the Boxer, typically speaking, you want to rush them down, right? Leaving them with very few options. Though the rushdown nature does have some weaknesses. The opponent blocks your attacks, you can be easily counter-hit, which is a Boxer-specific mechanic. First, Boxer's weak attacks. The good old jab. Straight punch. So those are our nice weak attacks just to be able to chip away stamina. So, back punch, acting as our uppercut, which will knock down, and then the hook. Back kick punch. And I find that actually, if you just roll, like hold back and you roll back kick punch, that you'll get it, actually. And then there's the overhead. Ha. Sorry. Anyways, ducks. So we got dodges here, right? We got the neutral dodge and then the directional dodge. Performed at a far distance. All right. Neutral kick will do your shuffle, which is nice because, as you'll see here, it'll actually replenish your stamina when you're below 1 pip of health, which is really important to being able to like just get that one exchange, right? That last little bit, or to avoid a total knockdown. The untechable attack, the super knockout punch, what I call Boxer's Raging Demon, because I don't know, there's something about the input of this move which reminds me of the Raging Demon. A sequence of ducks and dashes, followed by a jab to execute it. So back, forward, neutral, punch. Boom. It's totally a Raging Demon, right? It absolutely is. It is. This is, And I don't know about y'all, but I was a big Akuma player back in the day. So like in the Versus series, in Third Strike, I would just like me idly between rounds when the matches are loading. I'm just idly doing Raging Demons, man. It's just this, and this is what I find myself doing here, where I'm just like that, just idly. Oh, sorry, I skipped over a bunch of stuff. Let me go back just so we can see all the useful information. Boom. So, massive damage attack is untechable. Additionally, saying that it requires a sequence of ducks and dashes is a bit of a lie. Boxer doesn't need to bob and weave back and forth to execute this attack. All that matters is that you're pressing all of the buttons in order. What this means is that you can mask your inputs with other actions, and this is where the real tricky aspect of Boxer comes into play. This can make all your buffering really ambiguous. This is a super advanced technique, so it's not mandatory for success, but this is what you're going to see at high-level play. Alright, counter hits. Finally, another unique aspect of Boxer. It's a unique passive thing that allows them to counter hit any opponent. This means that if you manage to hit them out of their attacks, they become stunned. Stun state only lasts for a moment, but you manage to recognize and capitalize it, you can get big reward. So, counter hit. Boom. Another one. So you can see the real back state on the counter hit, right? Very clear. But this passive counter hit thing works both ways. So you can be counter hit as well, which opens up a bunch of really interesting combo opportunities for other characters. Ah, yes. The next passive one, the perfect dodge. This is something I actually wanted to get some clearer resolution on, if you will. So ducking right before a high attack would have hit you. If you execute it properly, a yellow spark will appear above your head. So you will avoid the attack, and the opponent will be frozen for a moment. So this allows you to get a good punish. That said, the technique is also a resource. The resource replenishes when performing a shuffle or by hitting the opponent. Ah, a second use for the shuffle. Okay. Can't just spam ducks hoping to get a perfect dodge. Dang it. There we go. Come on. Come on. Yeah, shuffle is far range, unless you spam neutral duck at close. Okay. Now, spin dash. Boxers, ducks and dashes hide an additional technique. This is why they're a 3-star character. Far more complexity than Muay Thai, which we had just gone through, right? So, spin dashes. Performed by double tapping a direction followed by the kick button. 3 variants, blue, green, and yellow. Blue spin dash. Double tap kick. Super low profile. You will avoid all high attacks and most mids. Ooh, alright. As you might have noticed, performing this does consume stamina. Each spin dash variant consumes stamina to perform. More meter management, alright. Also cool that your meter management it's your stamina. It's both your health and your resources, right? So spin dash and weakened, you get no tech state. Normally only lasts 3 seconds. Executed on your last half stock, and you get a 5-second penalty. Ah. Alright, green spin. This is FADC cancel, right? Shares all the same properties as the blue spin dash. However, you get the freeze on the opponent. And finally, the yellow. Oh, this is blocking and spin dashing. Okay. Oh, on block, rather. Once again, sharing the properties of the blue spin dash, but lacks the ability to cross up in the corner. Ah, so you can't... Okay. Nor do you get the freeze. Alright. Consumes the entire stock of stamina. Primarily used to get out safely after missing your attack. Additional properties that attacks gain after a spin dash. Oh, shoot. Way more forward momentum. Okay. All strong attacks are now capable of launching. Okay. All attacks have faster startup. and all attacks recover slower when blocked off the yellow spin dash. Okay. So yeah, gotta recognize which variations you're using as well as the habits of the opponent. Super important to keeping your advantage. And that's the spin dash. We got more. Basic combos, right. Wait, what are you going to throw at us for these? What do you consider basic boxer combos? And if you get a counter hit on the uppercut, you might be able to land a second uppercut before going for the hook. All right. Yeah, if you get counter hit off that, yeah, okay. So, blue spin dash, back punch will launch. Green spin dash will also launch. Good thing about this combo is that it launches most opponents, even if they aren't in the weakened state. Yeah, if your execution's good, perhaps you can continue. There's a lot of really fun high execution stuff in this game. I was just gonna ask about expert combos, actually. And you're right, it's probably wise not to add them yet. Just because, yeah, people are still discovering stuff. What it means might change in the next, 5 weeks. So, I don't know, man. It is like, I don't know, that might be a cool, like, update after the game's released, where, hey, now that everyone's kind of dug into it, here are the expert combos, and you can actually kind of pull from the community for that. That'd be fun. Yeah, let's see karate. That's a good idea. Let's see what I've been missing about karate. Shotokan karate, well-rounded martial art. Martial art is good for beginners, still has tools for more experienced players though. So they revolve around quick pokes and finishing with a high kick or a grab. Let's go over the basics. Forward punch. Neutral, which is your throw. All this time she had a super uppercut and we never knew. Low kicks. Okay. I'm curious now. This is gonna be fun. High kick, which is also a strong attack. And then the special here, the karate strike. As you can see, yep, can be charged up. The 1 is the get off me tool. Level 2 will send him back. And 3, unblockable. So yeah, you gotta convince your opponent that they have to hold back, or whatever the case may be, right? Once you've conditioned them suitably, you can let that one rip. All right, karate's crouch and uppercut. Back kick is a little crouch here. The crouch allows them to avoid highs. Additionally, you gain access to an uppercut while in the crouch state. So, hold down back, you can just hold your crouch state, and then punch to release the uppercut. Oh, that covers the basics. All right. I suppose it's going to be later on, because you do have a special variation. So, grabs. The grabs are interesting too, because for karate, they're all contextual, right? So, center stage grab, tosses them. Performing in the grab, that same grab in the corner, will just side swap them and leave them standing. And then the takedown grab, when they're at low stamina, it will knock them down and do an untechable throw. But it's important not to only rely on the grabs. You want to use them unexpectedly to minimize the chances of people breaking free or teching them. Oh, it's not untechable? It has the interesting, because it does have the lightning strike on it. The knockdown is untechable, but the throw itself is. Sorry, it was just because I recall the general game tutorial saying that about the lightning strike, that was the indication that it was untechable, right? So I guess that has stuck in my head. Okay, yeah, it should only occur if they're in no tech. Okay, that's interesting. It's funny what like what the game primed my brain for, where I was just like, oh yeah, of course, untechable, right? But yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Anyways, super uppercut. Second untechable attack. To execute a super uppercut, input forward and punch immediately after crouching. So you'll be able to see here, very good that you're adding the display, right? So when I go into crouch, you see it go up. So as you input backwards and kick, immediately switch to going to forward and punch, and you can get the super uppercut. Which is, right? So mistimed there. Mistimed. There we go. One of her best attacks. However, due to the execution requirements, it's difficult to perform on command. So, practice makes perfect. Let's see some basic combos. Alright, it's a nice little guaranteed damage. Main drawback relies on you getting in on your opponent. Fair. Okay. Regular uppercut into grab. Can still be broken if the opponent expects the grab, though. Not guaranteed. Alright. Yeah, you can also combo the uppercut into forward punch. Yes, this is true. That's another way to go. So you can mix up between that and the tech, right? Yeah, if they expect the grab, go for high kick. Or uppercut into super uppercut if you can. It's one of the good things about this game, where it does allow you to, like, experience the difficulty in different ways, right? So, yeah, you can go into a throw or a forward punch or something like that, or you could try to go into the super uppercut. Both are viable options, and there's nothing wrong with going for the more guaranteed option. That's a great style of play. So, yeah, you've been hit with the uppercut high kick. If you can get that, that's awesome, because yeah, that'll get you the knockdown, right? All right, let's try a little bit of kendo. Mid-range martial art, rewarding patience and precise, decisive strikes. Ideally, to be effective, you want to position yourself just outside of the range of your opponent. So let's go over the basics. 3-slash attack. I call it a little Rekka series. Just punch, punch, punch. The first two will connect, right? Not a true combo. The first two will connect. The third attack leaves a gap, but will launch. Stab. Forward punch for the little poke. Dashing strike for the head bonk. And then there is a strike stance. This is kind of the unique thing, and their entire kick button revolves around this. So you can enter the strike stance. You might notice that there's a little spark there on the kendo. You gain 3 follow-up attacks when you're in this mode. Ah, yes, of course, you can also walk during your stance. So you get your follow-ups by pressing punch at different timings. Early, late, and perfect. So once again, we'll get the training mode strike stance indicator, which shows when it fills up, right? So early strike, we get a head bonk. Late strike, we get a launcher. And perfect strike, untechable knockdown. The window for the timing is incredibly small. Actually, more lenient than some of the perfect timings, though. Even with that, Kendo's range makes them scary. Because of this, oftentimes the opponents will play super defensively. So if you recognize the situation, utilize the perfect strike to take advantage of it. If the opponent blocks the perfect strike, they will be stunned for a bit. Additionally, if their stamina is low enough, the perfect strike will guard crush. Unlike most strong attacks, perfect strikes will guard crush full stocks of stamina. So that's our basics. Counterattacks. Getting a little more advanced. So you will counter strike if you retaliate, and automatically retaliate if you manage to land the back punch. Timing is precise. If you execute it too early, you'll be left in this no-tech state, lasting for 3 seconds total. So it's a big risk, right? Counter-striking someone who has no stamina makes the counterattack untechable. Nice. And then, yes, the dash counter. Capable of hitting the opponent even if they don't hit you. In addition to that, the attack is unblockable. Wait a second, I didn't realize that. If your opponent is playing too defensively, use this tool to open them up. To execute it, perform counter stance while dashing forward. So, double tap forward, back punch. Still has counter-strike properties. However, it is delayed. You can still be hit before the counter-strike actually begins. Ah, yeah. All right, we got our basic combos here. Launcher into dash punch, right? Launcher head bunk. All right, off launcher. That one only contained one attack after your launcher, but depending on the spacing, you can land multiple strikes. Very technical combo, requires a lot of focus to execute. Launcher into perfect strike. Let's do it. Oh, you know me. Only the cleanest execution in the house. One of the best players on it for 2 minutes. Yo, it's gotta be. It's just beginner's luck, man. I do, like, last time I was here, someone suggested a perfect strike, like, challenge, right? Like, how many can you get in a row? And that's actually really fun. Like, that's a cool mini game, right? I mean, oh, dude. What are your thoughts on mini games? Yo, you could do like a Third Strike Sean style basketball thing. Have someone toss watermelons at kendo, and you gotta like perfect strike them at different spacings and stuff. Practical and delightful and fun. Like, hey, indie game developers, if you never need a hand with some design thoughts, some consults, you know, hit me up. Last but not least, Karate can practice just frame level 3s, right? This is... Yeah, so you are planning mini games. Character-specific ones can be tricky. I totally get that. It might, I could see how it might be a bridge too far, but hey, even as a universal thing, right? Just take out the melons kind of game is, I think it would work. But yeah, that's the dream, right? The dream is to have like character-specific ones, mini games that act as training tutorials, that act as fun side diversions. Yeah, and have them build general familiarity. That's absolutely it, right? I mean, look, a lot of players, man, they're gonna do the grind and the learning stuff independently once they're invested in the game. Getting them invested in the game is always the goal, right? And the struggle. So little things like that to help build that familiarity while breaking the kind of sometimes the monotony of the round by round grind, especially if you're losing a lot. All right, we've saved the trickiest for last. Let's master the movement, all right? All right, we got some basic light kicks. We got a high kick. We got a heel drop. Also a very satisfying move to land. So yeah, the low and the high kicks won't knock down, but the heel drop will. Lacking punches completely. When you press punch, you will perform a feint. Simultaneously a movement option, a mix-up tool, and attack charging mechanic. Basics, all you need to know is how to move. Feint. You'll notice there are two. Feint roll by double tapping forward directly after performing a feint. Paramount for getting out of sticky situations like getting cornered. Let's learn feint charging. You get different moves contextually based on where you are in your feint charge. So, a feint is just a movement, but also gives Taekwondo access to additional attacks. Regular, perform feint 1, puts me in the little dot. I perform it again. I get a different action, and it puts me in purple. You get that additional symbol, letting you know where you are. So the charge's direction is also very important. For example, forward feint charges Taekwondo's jump kick, which is performed by executing high kick. Performing any non-charged attack will clear the charge state completely, as I just did. Getting hurt or blocking an attack will also clear this state. Alright, neutral and back are a little different. All charge kicks are strongs, making them good for achieving knockouts. There we go. Just follow up. Same movement option with same direction kick. So feints become super feints, and charges become supercharged. Performing a feint while a charge is present will make it a super feint charge. Additionally, you can override supercharges with another supercharge direction. So you don't have to worry about losing the supercharges from spamming feints, right? So hit any of the supercharge kicks, neutral, forward, or backwards. Boom, 1, 2, 3. We got it. Basically, you get more damage off of them. In the case of the supercharged forward kick, you can follow up with another attack. Supercharged feints. All right. And all charged kicks leave you airborne. This means that you can easily be interrupted and knocked out. Also, charging takes time. Good players will often try to rush you so that you're unable to feint charge. Alright, feint rolls in combination with charges. Since a charge lasts for about a second, you can still use it after a feint roll. So, feint, roll, kick, gets the special kick. Will that work? I think that'll work. There you go, yeah. Forward feint roll, forward kick will get you that follow-up. So this is where it gets super tricky. Like I said, I think this is a super freaking dangerous character in the right hands. Probably not this guy's hands, but I've faced a couple Taekwondos already that have like scared the ever-living daylights out of me. And yeah, and it gets definitely tricky when you start crossing up the character with these charges. Yeah, absolutely. All right, fake outs. Final technique in the arsenal is the ability to perform fake out. 3 unique fake outs. Heel drop fake out, super feint fake out, and supercharged kick fake out. That's a mouthful. So you can press punch during the startup of your heel kick and feint. Outside of being useful for mix-ups, performing this places you in a feint charge state. So you'll retain the basic feint charge. Next, perform the super feint fake out. Inputting the opposite direction during a forward or backwards super feint. You'll know you've executed it properly because when you don't travel the full super feint distance. So that's regular, right? Forward, forward. Or forward, forward, back. And then, yeah, you barely go, right? And then, yeah, you can cancel the backdash 2, which will probably allow you to connect moves that you wouldn't otherwise be able to connect. During the startup of any supercharged kick, press the punch button. Alternatively, press punch and kick simultaneously. Cuts the attack short. There you go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, during the startup. But you retain partial feint. So you can immediately transition into a normal charged kick. Okay. Taekwondo is all about conditioning. The trickier you are with it, the harder it is for your opponent to gain advantage. Yeah, they can throw you through a loop. Alright, let's see some combos. Go-to combo when cornered or pressure. Yeah, right? It would get them right off of you. Give you enough space to breathe and set up feints. Huh, okay. There we go. There we go. Yeah, Taekwondo doesn't actually have many combos, right? I noticed that. I was going through, and I initially suspected that she was going to have a lot of crazy combos where you're like, oh, you get the feint set up into the right kind of juggle, and you'd be able to juggle them several times. I don't know, maybe she was a restand character. What do I know? But no, I start playing her, and you're like, oh, no. She's just all about the mix. She's all about 1 or 2 hits into the mix, right? At most, yeah, expect to only get 2 hit combos from a charge kick. Yeah, right? That was not my initial assumption. All right. Damn, those are nice. Those are nice like character tutorials. I really think it was well done. Like nothing broke too, right? You don't have to roll back the Steam version this time, hopefully. So yeah, I really liked how the more general game tutorial was just like, here, we can give you some tools about the individual characters, but also this is what you need to know to figure it out. And then this was very much a nice kind of like, okay, now that you understand that, move into this. Very well broken up, which I think a lot of the times you can get a huge info dump. This was a little like, especially for the more complex characters, it was a little bit more info dumpy than I think some people like. But that being said, I clicked on all. I didn't have to, right? You can take them one by one. That's fine. So, but there's also a lot of nuance to some of these characters, so it requires that kind of time, right? But a very nice distinction between the two. And you can send someone into the general game demo and then send them into the game, and they can figure it out. And then yeah, bringing them back and then introducing them character by character. I think that's a really good game loop to invest in.